Hey everyone, this is SuperTal3 here. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to be installing Proxmox. It's a virtual machine hyper-converged infrastructure platform onto this laptop, as you can see right here. So that way I can make a Splunk virtual machine and get all the logs sending from my all the devices in my house to this machine, so that I can have log storage and be able to view certain things that are going on the network in my house. The reason I'm using this laptop is, one, it has no use for me right now, and two, because it uses a little bit less power than a traditional desktop PC or server like that would use. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and get started installing Proxmox. Alright, so I just booted the computer up, and now I'm going to select my USB thumb drive through the boot devices menu. And there we go. So we have it selected, and it should, there we go. So the boot screen shows up in Proxmox. Now it's just got to run through this little setup thing where it initializes everything, and then we'll be welcomed to a GUI installer. Sorry for the bad video quality. I was videoing this in the dark because that was the best way. With the light on, it didn't help either. I don't have a way to screen record on this laptop when I'm installing an OS, something like that. Hopefully you can see it decently well enough, but anyway, it's not that hard of a setup. So yeah, and it should be done now, about now. There we go. So the GUI installer has popped up. Yep, you can see it pretty good. So I'll agree to everything, select the disk that I'm going to be using, which is about a 500 gigabyte hard drive, set my country and my time zone and keyboard layout, which all be United States of America. Almost forgot the time zone right there. Gotta change that to the one I'm in. And then set my password for the root account. So when you log in, at first it's going to be root, and then you're going to put your password in, confirm it, and then put my email in. So confirm my password. It's taking me a while to type because I'm typing with one hand so I don't mess my camera up. And then I'll put my email address in there. And there we go. So we'll click next. I'll set my host name up. In this case, I believe it's gonna be, let me see, server 1. Yes, srv1.bigbrosec.com. That's just something I made up. It is my company name that I haven't exactly started it yet, but don't have the website up or anything. But anyway, set the IP address, which will be 192.168.2.50. Net mask is 255.255.255.0. Gateway is 192.168.2.1, and the DNS server, I believe I just set that to, let's see, we should probably set that to 1.1.1. Yep, there we go. So quad 1. That's Cloud First DNS. So everything should resolve well. Okay, yeah, fix that IP real quick. Everything should be configured properly by this point. So we'll go ahead and proceed to the next, confirm everything, and click install. Alright, and now we're done, so I'll get back to you in just a second once I open up the web browser on my PC. But the installation was successful, so now I just got to get everything set up and ready to go on my computer. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and open up our web browser and navigate to the IP. Let me put the HTTPS there. And our connection is not private, but that's fine because it's local area network. Log in as root with the password we supplied. No valid subscription is not an issue with Proxmox. That just is for support only. I can still create as many virtual machines as resources available on my hardware. So here we have right here a disk, and my server. So first thing I'm going to go and do is create a VM, and I'll make it on this node. VM ID is 100. Name will be Splunk, and resource pool, there's none. Okay. Use this. Unfortunately, I don't have an ISO image, so I'll just walk through creating it, and then I'll let you guys know after I get it downloaded. Do not use any media. Next. We'll keep these the same. This the same. Except I will go ahead and I'll put 80 gigs. We have a 500 gig hard drive in there, so 80 gigs should be fine. And how many cores can we give it? Okay, so this is definitely limited to what your processor has. I believe this processor has 4 cores, so we'll give this virtual machine 2, and we'll give it 2 gigs of memory because I have no idea how much there is. How much is 2 gigabytes in megabytes? Not exactly 2,000. Everybody always says that, but it's not. It's really 2 gigabytes is 2048. I should have known that. And there we go. Next. Finish. Now I'll go ahead and go to CentOS and download CentOS for my system. Alright, so before we add the disk file to our VM, we're going to have to go ahead and upload it. So we'll double click on our storage, go to content, and click upload. It already has the ISO image selected for us right there. So we'll just go to our downloads and click CentOS 8 x86-64, and we'll upload it. Shouldn't take very long, at least for me, because I have fast, I believe it's like a 10 gig connection on this switch in particular, so it should be really quick. Alright, so now our copy action that we had was done, so all we have to do is start up this VM and go to the console, which is the main screen right here. I'm going to set this up for SSH so I can SSH to it from my machine, but currently we must install CentOS on this virtual machine. This is going to serve as my primary Splunk server instead of having a distributed environment like I would normally have. I am going to have to have just one server, just because I simply don't have enough cores and everything to architect a distributed environment for my home, and I really don't have the use case for it. I have all the resources I need in this one VM, as the logs that I'm going to be sending to this is minimal. So as far as Splunk goes, this is going to be acting as my indexer, my heavy forwarder, my search head, and my syslog server. So pretty much every role that you would see separated in a distributed environment like we have at work, this is going to be doing it all in one server. Go. Let's go ahead and do we'll sign in as Splunk and our password. Let's just try an SSH to it. So I have my terminal right here, and we'll do SSH Splunk at 192.168.2.20. Oh no. Okay, so basically this is because I SSH to a different machine that was .20 first. So we need to do rm cdcon / users /.ssh / home host and then non-host. Okay, it should be good. Now let's run this command again. There we go. So yes, we know who they are. Perfect. So now we can pretty much just close this down, and we can use our shell for everything else. Alright everyone, so I did a little work behind the scenes, reinstalled Splunk through the .rpm package because I am on CentOS, and everything works great now. I enabled it to start on reboot of the virtual machine, so that if I ever shut it off, all I have to do is turn on the virtual machine again and Splunk will be back up. So I'll just navigate to the IP address on port 8000, HTTP, not HTTPS, and sign in with my admin credentials that I set up the first during the command line setup. And there we are in. So a little tutorial on this. Okay, there's end of life Python 2.7, Python 3.7. They're moving to Python 3, which is good because Python 3 has been out for a very long time. So since this is our main Splunk server, our deployment server pretty much, it runs everything, our licensing, our indexing, forwarding, search head, everything. I can pretty much just go over here and click find more apps, and I have a FortiGate firewall, so I'm going to want to search FortiGate. And I'm going to need the add-ons because this processes data, so alright, so we're going to go ahead and click install right here, and I'll put in my password for Splunk.com, not my local password. Click I read the terms and conditions of the license and log in and install. And we will not save this. There we go. So the add-on was successfully installed, but now we'll go ahead and install the Fortinet FortiGate app for Splunk. So same credentials. And there we go. Alright, so now I can go back here, and as you can see, I have this installed. Go over to it, and there's nothing because I have no data going into the Splunk server whatsoever at the moment. Now we're going to go ahead and reload this server. So over here, we will go to server controls, I believe it is. Yes, and restart Splunk. This is going to restart the Splunk instance and get everything, just make sure everything is properly configured in our Splunk environment. It'll also load the icon for the app, etc. Alright everyone, so now we're going to go ahead and go to my firewall really quick. What did I do? Alright everyone, so we're in. And yes, I don't have firmware because that costs tons and tons and tons of money. Alright everyone, so now I'm going to go over to root, login report, and log settings down here. And as you can see, we're using 8 megabytes of FortiCloud log, which I never ever use at all. See, we have a thing send log to syslogs, IP address, fully qualified domain name, but it's grayed out, and that's because we got to go to the global VDOM. And right here we can set it as 2.168.2.20. We'll send over port 514 for UDP. There we go. Now we'll log back in. Admin and the credentials. Oh, yeah. What? Why am I forgetting all my passwords? This is dumb.
One eternity later.
Oh, now I remember. Alright, so we'll go ahead and we'll log back into Splunk. I will save my credentials so I don't forget them because I forgot them just now. And over here we're going to go to data inputs. And this, usually you would not have this on a normal search head or whatever, but considering this is a Splunk server as well, we're going to head and go new local UDP 514, and this should be fine now. We're getting log. Firewall index, review, and submit. Yay, so now it works. Start searching. This will take us to our search app. And yes, so we should start seeing data in there pretty soon. There are other ways you can send data to your Splunk instance, namely through the use of a universal forwarder that you install on all the PCs you wish to send WinEvent logs to. This can be installed on PCs, servers, and domain controllers. But anyway, that's that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like this video, please leave a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you're not already, and turn on the notification bell icon so that you will be notified every time I release more videos just like this one. I'll give you guys an update video in a couple weeks on detailing how my lab is going so far as Splunk goes, Proxmox, whether I've made any changes to my current setup. So anyways, that's all for now. Thank you. This is SuperTal3 signing out.